award during 17th convocation of NIT Jalandhar. Lot of congratulations for the achievement, ma'am. You deserve it the most. And today we have second session on the second day of this FDP. And on the other hand, we have very matured audience, ma'am. All are qualified and experienced faculty members and research scholars from premier textile and fashion institutes representing almost every state of the country. And I am sure, ma'am, participants of the FDP will definitely benefited with your insights on the research-related fabric products. Over to ma'am.
Thank you so much, Harpreet, for a generous introduction. We seem or we look good because the students like you actually have made our name of the institution and the department. So thank you very much, and congratulations to you for conducting this FDP, which is very relevant in these days.
Thank you, madam.
Good afternoon to all the participants. I have been invited here to talk to you about the knitting fabric developments and the developments that have taken in different types of knitting machines. I have been teaching this subject since last many years in the department, so I hope I'm able to convey whatever I have in my bucket. If you have any questions, we can just take them after the session. And now I'll like to share my slides. Please tell me if they are visible. I'm just sharing it. Is it visible?
Yes, madam, it is visible.
Yeah, thank you. So as I said, we are here, or I have been invited to talk to you about knitting, which is actually the second most popular technique of fabric or garment formation. And all of you must be aware that this is the type of process in which interlooping of one set of yarns is taken up. You actually convert continuous length of yarn into vertically intermeshed loops. Either you do it by hand or you can do it by the machine. So the history of development, if we talk about in knitting, it started with the use of fingers for hand knitting, which still is followed by our ancestors or by our old people in our house. But then it came to development of the use of machines for knitting the products, different kinds of products, maybe weft knitting or warp knitted products. And the things have developed to an extent that today we are talking about manufacturing a whole garment without cuts and seams on a knitting machine, right? So this is the way the things which started in say 1000 BC, it has developed to by leaps and bounds to a place where we can think of just mapping a body and preparing the garment there and then using different softwares and the application of a flatbed knitting machine. So the developments that we'll be talking about will be in conjunction or in say relation to the machine processes and the products that are being made. And most of the material that I'll be talking to you about today will be is actually collected from the ITMA 2019, the last exhibition that was held. I hope you all must be aware of this ITMA that happens for the textile machinery exhibitions. So this is the most latest type of developments that were exhibited last in ITMA, where the changes or the say the type of developments that have happened in the flat knitting, circular knitting, and warp knitting machines were say displayed on. So if we talk about the advantages normally of a knitted product as compared to weaving woven products, we are very well aware that you can have a fabric that is produced from knitting by using minimum number of yarns. So the amount or the cost of the raw material for producing the same, say the dimensions of a knitted fabric is lesser as compared to what you have to say incur for making a woven, same dimensions woven product. And of course, during knitting, the extensibility and the stability of this fabric that you engineer, you can control it very well, and you can produce a fabric which is more comfortable to the body. So shaping is one important technique that is done during the time of knitting, which gives you a resultant fabric which is like body fitting and more comfortable to you, right? And the total number of or the wastage of the yarn during conversion of this yarn into a knitted fabric is negligible. So that way the knitted products are much sought after these days as compared to woven, although they cannot dispense, you cannot dispense away with woven, or they cannot take the place of woven. Woven have their own inherent advantages. But yes, knitting is being looked up to by even the people who are making technical textiles for technical applications, because of the less wastage that happens here and the kind of material that you can now produce on knitting machines. Even 3D structures are possible, which was not present earlier. So the reason for growth of this knitting sector is actually that the machine productivity has been improved so much. Then you can get a better quality product, you can produce a 3D structures, you can go for product diversification on this, and of course it is done at a low rate of production cost because the wastage is minimum. So when we talk about the knitted fabric market, if we see the market analysis of these fabric, it shows that the global demand of these knitted products has reached nearly $24 billion in 2020. And there's a report by fact.mrs, you can just check it on the net, that they say that the knitted fabric sales will likely expand at a compound annual growth rate of nearly 5% from 2021 to 2031. And a growth rate of 5% means a lot. So with new market entrants and developing firms accounting nearly 50% of the overall market of the apparels, you can think that how big this knitted fabric sector is going to become. The global knitted fabric market size is projected to reach nearly $40 billion by 2031. This is because of its low cost, improved elasticity, and easier manufacturing methods. And as I told you, since this knitted fabric is entering into the technical textile arena also, so the demand is going to increase many folds in the coming time. From 2016 to 2020, the demand for knitted fabrics, it expanded around 4% to be valued at $24 billion US dollars, and growing applications in various technical textile sectors like construction, vehicle, medical, and other manufacturing sectors, they have generated profitable opportunities in this said period. So I'll be discussing some of the applications of these knitted fabric in technical side also, but initially, of course, I'll be talking about their application in the apparel because your topic is restricted to that. Any disturbance or you're not able to hear me or the slides are not moving, please stop me in between so that I know. Okay, so now talking about the popularity and scope of knitted fabrics, as I mentioned earlier, the proportion of these knitted fabrics and knitted textiles in the developed countries like US and Japan, it has achieved 45 to 55% share of the market. And in China, this knitted textiles is one of the main supports of textile industry. And within the last 10 years, it has seen an increasing development of these knitting machines and knitted products, and because of their usage in both domestic and the foreign markets. So the worldwide knitted fabric industry is expected to generate significant revenue over the coming years, in the next 10 years. And as told before, the compound annual growth rate is going to be close to 5% in this forecasted period. So coming to the main area where we have to concentrate today is regarding the different types of developments that have taken place in knitting processes, the machines and the products that are knitted. Since every day your basic science and engineering, there are developments taking place now and then. The same concept is applicable in knitting too. The main focus while doing any kind of modification of development in any area is always going for low production cost and higher speeds. So whatever developments have been done in the various kinds of knitting machines. It's based on this concept of achieving higher production speeds, better quality fabrics, and the restriction of using the knitted products only in the apparel sector has also been done away with by making them more versatile to be used for producing definitive or say particular kind of 3D structures on knitted machines. So we'll start and we'll focus on the innovations related to these areas where we'll talk about upgradation in the machines, we'll talk about add-ons, we'll also talk about the automations that have happened in recent times, technology integration and digital 3D integration. The last aspect of this presentation will actually concentrate upon the structures which are being very widely used in different types of technical applications of the knitted products. The innovations has been happening in all different kinds of knitting methods, may it be flat, circular, or warp knitting. Specifically, the developments that have happened in recent times is the use of these knitted products or knitted fabrics in shoe uppers. You must have also noticed when you're buying your sneakers or sports shoes these days, the upper portion is a mesh kind of thing that is being used in most of the good quality shoes. So people are talking today of knitted shoes, and big manufacturers are venturing into this market of producing the shoe uppers using the knitting technique. So I'll be talking about that also towards the end. Now, starting with the flat knitting process, the developments have happened in different areas and different types of machine developments, which like gives you ideas and positivity of how the knitting industry is moving forward and how the collaborations can be done in different areas so that you can have multiple type of different products being made on this machine. So the exhibition that I was talking about, that is ITMA 2019, it focused upon the upgrades, add-ons, partnerships, and automation, sustainability, all these aspects when it displayed the different kinds of developments that major manufacturers of knitting machine like Shimazaki, Marency, they have done in their products. So in flat knitting, we'll be talking about hybrid knit weave, we'll be talking about the yarn unbinding devices, the new eye plating options, then some add-ons that have been done in shaped knitting. Then made to fit Shimazaki machine is the most versatile kind of system that has been developed. Then there's a yarn bank. We'll be talking in detail about this. What is a yarn bank that has been developed by Shimazaki? Then this knitted sensor gloves, which are the gloves that are being produced in the form of say cut resistant also, and with some sensors to give you a smart kind of functionality of these gloves. Then you have new app solutions for knit and wear, and then specialized spacer flat fabrics that can be knitted on the machines. So talking about first the hybrid knit weave, what does it mean? So this was introduced by Japan-based Shimazaki Manufacturing Limited, which is a very renowned name in knitting machine manufacturers. It unveiled its Knittify Smart Solutions in Textiles theme during this exhibition, which illustrated the flexibility of this Shimazaki products to cater to various industrial sectors. They don't only say cater to the traditional customer base in the apparel industry, but by showcasing this type of hybrid knit weave, they also ventured into the applications of knitted products in industrial sector, right? So the proposed knitting, it is an alternative manufacturing solution for non-fashion related industries. And if you see the figure that is displayed on the right hand side in the slide, it is representing a knitted carbon fiber reinforced plastic turbine blade. So initially it was not possible with the conventional knitting machines to incorporate different types of say technical yarns or say high performance yarns or fibers into the structure and create a reinforced product which can be used for industrial applications. But now with the development and the changes in the machines that have happened, the new knitting techniques where you can use this inlay technique and introduce special yarns like carbon fiber or monofilaments or some conductive yarns with special loop pressers that are used on the machine. You can produce a hybrid knit weave. That's why it's called hybrid, because you have a knitted structure and then you have these yarns which are special yarns, specialized or technical yarns, which can be inserted in the form of an inlay yarn into the basic structure. So the initial use of this flat knitting machine for simply producing the fabric for apparel, say manufacturing, has been modified in a way that you can produce reinforced structures for industrial applications. Although knits have inherent stretch and compression, as I told initially, it can be utilized as it is in the industries also, but this new knitting technique, which is inlay using the loop presses, that will actually allow for introduction of, say, specialized kind of materials into the basic structure. So when you can do that, then you are able to produce a product which will give you extra functionality, which is the requirement of any industrial application. So when we talk about the yarn unwinding device that should be used for these technical yarns which have to be inlaid into the fabric, then you need a kind of a specialized yarn unwinding device for the spools of this technical yarn. So you have to have the ease of feeding these yarns, which are actually otherwise difficult to handle. So this technology also caters to, or it makes it possible for the knitted technology to enter the markets that were previously off limits, you can say. This is sports accessories and automotive parts, aeronautical industry. People never thought of using these kind of say knitted materials with technical yarns being reinforced into them. But because of the changes that have been done by Shimazaki and introduction of the technology which can allow you to introduce these yarns and reinforcements into the basic structure, it is now possible to have a kind of product which is applicable in all these, say, offshoot industries or these technical industries where the applications were almost nil initially for the knitted fabrics. Now, another application of this flat knitted spacer fabric is done through a latest machine that is manufactured by Taiwan-based Fire and Machinery Mill Company Limited. It claims that it is capable of creating sculpted spacer fiber. Sculpted spacer fabric, normally we know a spacer fabric is a fabric which is like a two-layered structure which has interconnected yarns in between. You can see them here also. This is the top layer, this is the bottom layer, and you have these interconnecting yarns. And the basic, say, characteristic of these is you can have high amount of compressibility, softness, and breathability of the fabric that is produced from these kind of, say, techniques. But the specialized flat spacer fabric, it can knit a single piece of spacer fabric with varying thicknesses. So you can have the varied thickness of the fabric at varying places according to your requirement. So you can have, say, the right amount of thickness at a particular part, and maybe it has to be reduced in another part. So that way, the thickness can be managed at the various places using this flat spacer machine, which has been developed by Pilo. And normally, the application of these types of fabrics is generally for the padded bras and other apparels which require varying thickness on the fabric in the fabric itself. Another technology that has been developed is the new eye plating technology. Again, Shimazaki is the company which offers inverse plating capability, in which you can see different yarns can be shown alternately on the fabric surface. So you have two colored yarns here, black and red, and they can be alternately be visible at various places in the fabric. So the appearance is like a jacket like effect that you get in woven fabrics, but here you can create it in a plain jersey stitch, which was not earlier possible. So you can have a appearance of a jacket-like design on a plain jersey stitch fabric, knitted fabric, using the eye plating technology that has been developed by Shimazaki. And this can be performed within the same course and for individual needles. Now, when we say this, that it is can be performed from the same courses, we mean if you can do that with and control individual needle like you control individual yarn in the weaving process in jackets, then of course this kind of thing is possible, that you can play with colors and show them intermittently on the fabric surface, which initially was not possible when we were preparing a plain jersey stitch. But this eye plating technology, where they are using this technique of say transfer of yarn within the same course, is actually giving you this kind of appearance on the fabric surface. Even in if you see this jean fabric or the denim fabric, you can see two colors appearing intermittently on the fabric surface, and very conveniently. So this is like a structure which gives you a jacket effect, but in a plain jersey stitch. Another development, major development, as I was mentioning earlier, is a seamless 3D knitted fabric or a whole garment knitting. Now, I hope you understand the difference between fully fashioned and a whole garment knitting. Is there a difference? Anybody, if anybody can say something about this? Okay, fully fashioned is the preparation of the garment in pieces and then joining them together. So it is like producing the garment in, you don't have to cut the garment in that case, you are simply knitting that garment in particular shapes and finally you are, say, sewing them together. But a whole garment knitting would mean that you're producing the garment in tubular shapes and whatever shapes you require at particular areas, and you produce the whole t-shirt or that whole cardigan at the same time on the machine. So that's the difference. But the capability of producing knitted items is their entirety on the machine has been achieved by this Shimazaki whole garment technology, which makes it possible to knit the 3D constructions that fit all shapes. So it actually allows a 3D preform to be made, and you can produce the things in the tubing structure like this without seams and without any kind of sewing. So you're producing a whole product in the form of an integrated structure, which doesn't mean any kind of sewing or seams. And when you can do that, so the applications to which you can put into are high-tech applications or technical applications which don't require any kind of say breakdown of the structure during use. So the continuity of the fabric in such kind of garment manufacturing or product manufacturing, they allow some functional yarns that are made from say conductive fibers to wrap around the entire body without interruption for applications and use in their use in the smart garments and wearable technology. So when we say whole garment, we are actually saying that we are producing that structure in one go with none of the processes like cutting, sewing and seaming. So any failure of this product, the chances of the failure of this product during usage is almost nil when we talk about such structures. And when you do it in a seamless 3D knitted fabric form, you can actually introduce third yarn in the say bias direction, and you can achieve strength in all the directions, not only the vertical and the horizontal, but plus 45, minus 45 direction also you can, your product can exhibit the functional properties. So this kind of technology actually is helping people to produce structures which can be used for not only for garment making but for industrial applications also. So these two pictures are actually showing you a 3D knitting technology which is used for producing a kind of a socks material which has a sensor or a conductive yarn in it which can sense the movement of the person. This kind of thing actually is being used for detecting the movement of the person, or just tracking the number of steps taken by the person, or any other kind of sensing if it is required. But this 3D technology gives fit, comfort, lightness, and mobility for these kind of wearable technologies. So wearable technologies mean that you are using sensors and conductive yarns integrated into the structure, the knitted structure, and their integration is not causing any kind of say discomfort to the person who's using it next to his body or her body, right? Also, you're producing whole garment knitting that enables functional yarns to be incorporated seamlessly into the smart garments. So these smart garments are nowadays very common, where you might have heard about people are sick persons are sometimes asked to wear wristbands or the chest body covers which have sensors in them, so that the doctor can detect any kind of discrepancy or any kind of change in the heartbeat or their BP or sugar levels, and they can be treated timely. So they have those sensors being incorporated into the clothing that they are wearing. And these clothing, since it has to be comfortable to the body, so if it's 3D and it is knitted, it is going to give you much comfort as compared to incorporating them into woven structures or into certain kind of other, say, structures as compared to knitting. Another development that has been, or a kind of a program you can say, has been constructed or made by Shimasaki is a made to fit program, where they measure the body dimensions, and which is fed through a software, through a program, and this computerized, you can say you have a computerized flat knitting machine which is attached to this database, and as the this computer already contains the related data of the colors and the body dimensions that have been fed to it, and it drives the machine to produce the garment of the size for that person after the mapping has reached it. By selection of different colors and designs, you can alter the things at the program level, and then this is straight connected to your machine, and the machine works according to the signals that it receives from the software, and you can produce the garment for this person according to his or her choice and dimensions. So you have the data related to size, the length, the sleeve length, the color you want to use, and any other parameter that is required for, specifically required for that garment, and you can produce a whole garment on the machine by this particular software. It's called made to fit. Made to fit, the name itself will suggest or tell you that it is designed in a way that it best fits to the body whose mapping has been done to produce this whole garment. So the scanning of the body is done by the smartphone, then the sending this data to the server, and then automatically adjusting the preloaded data categories. This preloaded data categories is being uploaded before you start the process of scanning. So you already have number of say database with you of different color combinations, of design combinations, and from there you can just select the appropriate one for your case, and then it is fed directly to the knitting machine. Now the Shimasaki machine which is used for this made to fit technique is MAC 2XS and MAC 2X, which presents a technology breakthrough in modern computerized flat knitting. It has 4 needle beds configuration. Normally, when we talk about flat knitting machine, we talk about V-bed rib knitting machine. I hope you might have heard about this. So we talk about 2 needle beds only. But this machine has gone up to, in the needle beds, up to 4 needle bed configuration, where you have these 2 extra beds on top of the conventional V beds that we normally have for making the knitted fabric, flat knitted fabric. This setup actually allows for number or say unprecedented capabilities for producing different types of knitted and knitting and transfer of stitches from one bed to another. The amount of transfer that you can do during the knitting process of the stitches actually enhances the capability of the machine to produce different designs. So this significantly expands the designing capabilities of the machine and the patterning capabilities in whole garment production. So this is a whole garment machine through which you can produce a made-to-fit garment by simply scanning the body and selecting the appropriate colors and designs from the database, and finally get a garment which will fit to perfection to the body for which it has been designed. Then this is another application where the knitted structures are being applied, that is the knitted sensor glove. This is a knitted, you can say a virtual reality sensor glove from Stoll. Stoll is a very, another, say, very renowned manufacturer of German-based knitting machines. So this glove was made using conductive yarns to provide sensory and control function of all fingers. So the design features actually include it actually gives the ability to the wearer to interface with the machines, and it controls the movement in the virtual reality applications. So normally it is being used in the rehabilitative healthcare capabilities, especially for people who are suffering from the diseases related to brain, like any nervous breakdown. It has had, especially if you have heard about cerebral palsy. So in that case, the people are not able to say transfer the signals from the brain, or they're not getting the signals from the brain for movement of the limbs. These kind of sensory garments which they wear, they actually allow them to say do the kind of improve their healthcare capabilities and allow them motion that is required and which is not being generated normally, or which is not being normally intercepted by them because of the disease that they have. Now coming to the developments in the circular knitting category, normally the machine changes or the machine developments that have been happening, we have been hearing about the gauge modification, we have been talking knowing about the different types of feeding mechanisms, stop motions being introduced. But here I'll be talking to you about a manufacturing execution system that has been brought up in this category of say circular knitting, where they actually are controlling the whole process of knitting through a software. So this MES, which is a manufacturing execution system, which is used in case of circular knitting, it actually say you can just compare it to the in the weaving unit, you use those spider webs or those kind of softwares where you can monitor each machine on the screen itself. So similar kind of concept is being used here in manufacturing execution system, which gives you a overall insight of how the machines are working, one, and even gives you a signal that which machine's part requires a change. So the system alerts an operator when the particular part needs to be replaced, and this knitting monitoring actually schedules, monitors, and manages the knitting room where you have installed all your machines. So at the office or you're moving around, you can just access this KMS and MES system, and you can just give complete control of the knitting plant, no matter where the operators is located. So we'll be talking about this in detail. Along with, we have a knitted 3-layer high pile machine that is being has been developed for preparing pile structures. Then you have seamless machines. Then you have electronic single jersey jacketed machine, and then the seat jacketed machine. So I'll be talking about them one by one. So this MES manufacturing execution system, as I told you, it helps in managing the data and production from large circular machines. Is otherwise cumbersome and time consuming if you want to keep analysis of each machine and the type of production on that. And since it will be manual, so it is prone to error. So this manufacturing execution system, which is also called the knit monitoring system, it actually helps in monitoring this knitting room from a far off place also. Even if the operator is not located close to the knitting room, he or she can just get an overview of how the things are working in the knitting room, right? And as I told, you can simply get a signal regarding any kind of parts change also required for different machines that are working in the knitting room. Coming to the seamless machine with automatic finishing machine that is being used for making seamless upper garments without cutting and sewing on a machine which is called a seamless machine, which is has been developed by Centoni by the name of SM8 and Top 2V seamless machine. Here you can create a boxer. Uh, Actually, you can actually produce a garment or a seamless structure by the cut and sewing being avoided totally and the whole process being completed automatically. So you simply have to feed the type of dimensions in which you want your product, and the machine is being constructed in such a way, it is integrated with a computer system which actually accesses the information from there, and the yarns, selected yarns being fed to the machine, and the product is ready to be shipped, like for final packaging. You are doing the manufacturing and the finishing of the product on the same machine. The earlier machine that we were talking about, you produce the fabric, a whole garment there, and then you have to go for the finishing process. This actually has a process station also attached with the seaming machine, where the finishing of the material will happen, and straight away the final product which comes out can go for a final packaging stage. So you have a combination of a seamless machine along with the finishing system, which is a kind of a processing station, which is a part of the main machine. This is another development, major development that has taken place, which helps in actually generating the final product on the same process. Then you have this KD FPS HW knitted 3-layer high pile machine. This is a knitted 3-layer high pile technology, which is simultaneously knitting 3 layers on a single machine. Now, normally when you have to produce a layered product, what you do is you prepare 3 layers, and then you have a kind of a bonding technique through which, or you produce a laminated kind of 3-layer high pile structure. But in this machine, you can produce that 3-layer high pile structure, with a layering 3 layers of the structure being produced during the knitting process itself. Like spacer, you have 2 layers, and the interconnecting yarn will be, this is the 3-layer structure which can be created on the machine itself without producing them separately and then say laminating them together. This is actually reducing the production time by 60%, and it actually solves the 2-layer high pile loss issue, both accelerating production and improving the fabric quality. So what I mean to say is this company which is producing this is by the name of Vanguard Pylon. It developed this state-of-the-art technology to help people to produce layered structures by during a single process on the knitting machine. So it is possible to do this because of the number of needle beds that you can employ in the machine, and the technique in which you can create the connection between the layers, which is possible only in this particular kind of technology. Then you have electronic single jersey jacquard machines that has been developed by Mayer & C, again very renowned manufacturer of knitting machines, especially circular knitting machines. So they specialize in making of or the creation of mesh and body mapping structures. It is based on a 3-in-1 body mapping structured mesh or net-like hole pattern, which is in demand in the sporting market segment and for the athleisure wear. So as I told you before also, knitted shoes are a very common application of knitted products these days. And these net-like structures that you see on the upper part of the shoe they are specially a product of these kind of, say, mesh-like structures that can be created on these electronic jackets. These mesh, they actually serve as a symbol of fashion and a functional element by ensuring the ventilation of the selected body areas. So wherever you require visibility in the fabric, kind of ventilation to happen in the fabric, you can introduce or you can have a portion of that fabric produced in a mesh form through these electronic jacket machines. And that will not only give you the aesthetic value, but it will also improve on the functional element that is required, that is the breathability. Another development that was say shown on in those in that exhibition was a seed jacket machine. Now this machine can knit up to 8 different types of yarns in varying colors and materials and denier values without thickening the knit. So normally what we face during a normal knitting process is when you use different types of yarns of different deniers, you see the varying thickness happening in the knit structure. So in this case, it is using the materials or it is using different kinds of yarns of varying colors, materials and denier, but it actually doesn't show up in the final fabric in the form of the varying thickness because the denier values selected for these different types of yarns and the technique that is used to knit them in vibrant patterns, they actually show up in the form of design appearance. Even if that thickness is, say, varying by certain values, it is actually appearing as some vibrant patterns on the surface. And they last quite longer than the printed designs that normally we create using the printing technique. So if you want embossed patterns on the knit surface, then this is one technique which will give you that embossing kind of feeling. Normally हम क्या करते हैं fabric में, if we want some kind of embossing, we pass the fabric through embossing rollers which have certain designs on them, and then we create that pattern on the surface, which looks like a little elevated pattern on the fabric surface. But in knits, if you want to create that kind of embossing, you can use this seed jacket machine, which will actually allow you to use different types of yarns of different deniers and create that kind of embossing effect in the final pattern appearance in the knit fabric, which was initially not possible. We were not able to say use the different denier yarns on the same machine for producing the knitted fabric. But using them, one is using them and other is showing them in a way that it enhances the vibrancy of the patterns on the surface in the form of embossed patterns. So this machine gives you that enhancement or that use of the different yarns for creating embossed patterns. Okay, coming to this most important applications in the knitted shoes that I have been talking since the beginning. So before I discuss about this, I would like to give you a little history of the knitted shoe industry. Knit shoe was a fledgling industry on the brink of exploding in 2015. The knitted portion which I am talking about is the upper of the shoe, which is manufactured using a high technical knitting machine. And the two major players in the knitted footwear were the brands which you might have heard about is Nike and Adidas. Actually, they were both fighting over intellectual property since 2012, and then lately, shortly after, Adidas came up with its new product which is called Prime Knit, and Nike filed a patent infringement claim on that. But Nike failed to meet the burden of this patentability, and then the things changed. And after 2015, the market for shoes with knitted uppers increased leaps and bounds, and it's projected to reach around $3.19 billion by 2025. So the knit shoes are now seen all over the knitting, say, sectors in even the different exhibitions that are done on knitted products. The flat computerized machine, knitting machine, or circular machine, or warp knit machines and the traditional even socks knitting manufacturers, they have the technology to produce the socks or shoe combinations, turning this whole market on its head. So these shoes actually provide socks like comfort, and they maintain a trendy yet athletic look. If you see this picture, you cannot just guess that this top that is shown on the shoe surface or the upper of this is a knitted construction. But it being a knitted construction, it gives you the kind of breathability and comfortability which a sports wearer would require, or even for that matter, the people who generally wear these shoes for longer periods of time. So the shoe with the knitted upper, it has become increasingly popular among the younger generation nowadays, owing to its high level of influence of sports. So this requires little to no manual labor during manufacturing, and only labor that is required to attach the knitted part is to attach this knitted part to the shoe. That's why the footwear manufacturers, they move their production closer to their larger markets, and possibly this eliminates the cost of shipping and tariffs. So circular knitted shoe uppers for sports and leisure footwear, they have been produced since 2012, and they just debuted in the Olympic Games then. And they have mostly been, say, in the form of being produced from, say, the flat knitting or circular knitting, so that the pricing is maintained at a proper level. And circular knitting that leads the field for productivity. Out of, if we talk about all the three technologies, that is flat, circular, and warp knitting. So the uppers that are produced using circular knitting, they actually have, say, an edge for the productivity aspect if we talk about. The socks manufacturers that had the technology but not the know-how of how to turn a sock into a shoe upper, they actually shifted to learning this kind of manufacturing of the shoe upper, and started venturing into, they are also started venturing into producing these shoe uppers. Okay. So coming to certain applications of these knitted products in technical arena. So this cut resistant gloves that is normally used in the food processing industry is a warp knitted product where the use of ultra high molecular weight ethylene fibers makes it a very, say, dynamic and a very useful product within the European Union. They have a lot of restrictions regarding, or strict requirements that are laid down in the framework regulatory for governing materials when they are used in the food processing industry. So the knitted gloves that are made from Dyneema, they are used very widely in the food processing industry. Apart from that, the use of these gloves is also nowadays in case of automotive and steel metalwork industries. And you can produce a seamless glove on the knitting machine, which is actually the leader in this arena is Shimasaki again. So producing a glove which does not have any kind of seams and stitches will actually ensure the performance level of the product to the highest. There will be no failure during the usage. Of course, that cut resistance comes from the material, that is the Dyneema that you are using. But technique of constructing it in a one integrated form will give you the best functional requirement that you need from these cut resistant gloves. Coming to the concept of green bags. Now, this is a very important area when we talk about environment. Nowadays, whenever any kind of development is happening in any arena, may it be knitting, weaving, or any kind of yarn development or fiber development, we foremost talk about the sustainability and environmental impact of those products or developments. So this concept of green bags, which is also known as eco bags or environmental bags, came from the idea that we need to make biodegradable, or we need to use biodegradable natural fibers or recyclable man-made or synthetic fibers for making these bags, which should be non-toxic, they should be non-corrosive and non-allergenic. And knitting can be used to make these green bags by using both these types of fibers, either biodegradable natural fibers or recycled fibers. Also, we have two techniques of making, tubular structures on the machine itself using flat or circular form. And the warp knitting also has been used, or it is playing a very major role in producing specialized kind of storage bags. Warp knitted bags have much better dimensional stability as compared to flat or circular knitted. And you can produce bags of GSM ranging from 20 to 25 to very heavy ones ranging from 60 to 70. So that's the versatility that can be obtained from warp knitting. But then when you go for warp knitting, the cost is actually a little enhanced. So people prefer using the flat or circular knitted ones for the low cost. So if you have to use it for very specific application or functional application, then you can go for using these warp knitted green bags. Now this multi-axial knitted structures, which I have been talking about earlier also, this is the kind of the 3D structure that I was mentioning. It contains 4 layers of yarns placed in perfect order, each on top of the other, and these are being produced on the multi-axial warp knitting machines, where you can introduce yarns in the bias direction, which will give you, say in bias direction in non-crimped parallel form. So they actually give you the dimensional stability in the directions of not only 0 and 90 degrees, but also in plus 45 and minus 45 directions. So if you use this kind of structure in any particular application where you require the strength being exhibited or the stability being exhibited in all the directions of the fabric, then this is the best technique of using such fabrics in high-tech applications. Especially we use them in construction. In construction, you use geotextiles, which are the materials which used in the form of, say, sometimes composites or reinforced. So you require strength in all directions in those cases, not only in the 0 and 90 degrees. So there you employ, or there these kind of fabric structures find their usage, and these can be produced only on multi-axial warp knitted machines, which have more than 2 needle bars, and they have different kinds of inlay and techniques for inlaying specialized kind of yarns into the basic fabric structure. These set yarn layers, they might have different orientations and different yarn densities in their directions. You can use different yarns in different directions. You can just put some inlay yarn, extra yarn into the looped structures, and you can keep on enhancing the properties of the strength or stability of these fabrics. Normally, they are used to reinforce different matrices, and they're capable of absorbing and distributing extraordinarily high strain forces. The applications of these kind of fabrics you'll find in airships, in boats, in life rafts, in rescue tents, in V-belts, roofing membranes. So generally, we apply using them, or we use them where you need to have a reinforced structure which should have light weight and good strength. This is the beauty of any textile material. If you can produce certain kind of structures in the 3D format, which can exhibit their properties in different directions, so you can have the opposing requirements in any application of lightweight and high strength, which is not possible to achieve with any other material in this on this earth, except textiles. Another technology that I would like to talk about here is spin knit. Now, on the web knitting sphere, the spin knit revolution, which allows knitting to happen directly from either roving or saliva instead of a yarn package, this is a revolutionary thing that happened. We straight away are using the roving or the sliver from the spinning section to create a fabric. Mayer and C, which is a German-based company, Terra GmbH, Phylum, all these companies have offered different variations in this technology. They have shown their machines to say straight use or process the polyester, which is capable of high working speed. And further, they actually, although these machines were the focal point in any kind of exhibition, there was not a kind of adoption direction that how to adopt this thing. Then the Mayer and C company came up with new features, and it showed that it could process polyester and it could link it to the machine, the spinning unit to the machine in such a way that 3-in-1 spin-it system concept was developed, combining 3 processes: spinning, knitting, and cleaning in one machine. And when you're doing all the 3 things in single machine, you're actually saving time, space, and energy. Mayer and C, they bagged many awards, several awards for this type of development that they did, where all these 3 things are combined in one machine. And it is being successfully being used by people for producing those kind of jackets. If you have seen, where you have that fur kind of say feeling of on the inside of the jacket. So that is actually sliver knitting. This spin knit fabric can now be designed also with thick and thin yarns, including the ikat designs. Ikat designs, I think, because design people are there, they must be knowing about the ikat design that normally is used on the fabric. This allows the machinery to offer design features rather than just cost saving. And it is hoped that this technology sees its right potential in the coming times. So it's not only for producing that fur-like effect in the fabric, it is also going to be used for different kinds of design appearance on the fabric surface by using this spinning and knitting technique together in one machine. Further, we are using these knitted structures, mainly the warp knitted rational structures, in medical textiles also. The main application being in producing the vascular tubes. If you see this picture, this is the artificially knitted cardiovascular tube implanted in the human body, this whole thing. So it is, you can see it is a branched structure. It is not possible to produce this kind of branched structure on a normal circular knitting machine or a warp knitting machine with 2 needle bars. You have to have multiple needle bars if you want to produce these branch structures. So once this is just showing one bifurcation, you might have a further bifurcation of this. You know, the vascular tubes, they have a lot of branches that appear in the normal human body. So if you have to replace something, you need to have an integrated structure without any cutting and sewing. You cannot create branches by creating, say, several tubes and then joining them together, because that will not work and fail over the period of time in the body, and your requirement will be, say, done away with. So you have to use a product which is seamless, which is a one-piece product, and that means you have to produce a branch structure in one go. So this is possible only with the warp knitted multi-bar or multi-needle bars machine, which can give you this kind of a branched structural appearance. Also, we find the application of these knitted materials in other medical textiles, like the artificial bifurcated heart valves, some kind of flat and tubular bandages. You might have seen that compression stockings and bandages that are tailor-made these days for treating the swelling in the limbs or any kind of cramp. So you just tell your the dimension to the person, and he gives you a tubular structure which can be put on. And you see there's no cuts and seams in that. So those are also kind of a knitted product which conforms to your body, gives you the necessary say support from outside, along with the comfort and stretchability if you want to move your limbs. This you cannot get in woven structures. And of course, tapes and gauges are also other applications of these medical textiles. Then you can also use them in surgical gowns. You can use them to produce ligaments or bones, etc. Artificial bones they're talking about. Then face mask also, orthopedic appliance, pad towels, body bags. And this is one picture which shows you a orthopedic knee support that has been produced in a tubular form using circular knitting machine. So basically you need some pressure or compression being applied from outside since you have the required stretchability in the fabric. So that conforms to the body part where you put it, and it also allows you to move that body part easily when you have to use it. So normally the products that you use on the limbs for giving such certain kind of support when you are moving around, that should be knitted product only. Only then you will get that elasticity and comfort for easy movement of the limb. It will also protect you, but it will give you the ease of movement, which you cannot get in other cases. It is not going to form a kind of a hard cast. It is an elastic material because of the loop structure in them. It has the necessary elasticity, so it conforms to the body and allows you to move around smoothly. Then the other warp knitting and sometimes crochet knitted warp products, they are also used in the construction sector. I mentioned it before also. So they have greater efficiency for house building. They are also used in road construction. They are used in geogrids, which have large stitches that increases the structural capacity of the subsoil, which also helps in filtration and separation task below the roads when you place it. You don't only have to have a support below, you also need the kind of structural integrity for filtration and separation of soil and rocks and water from the top of the road. So these kind of warp knitted constructions are being employed under the asphalt surface that actually ensures the longer life for both the motorways and the other roads constructions where you use them. The reinforcement that is used that prevents the reflective cracks and wheel track cutting caused by the truck tires. So what you see normally is when you use say jute knitted say fabrics or reinforcements that you use for road construction or railway construction, or for that matter for preventing the soil erosion on the roads, especially itself when heavy vehicles move on them. Over a period of time, you start seeing the surface getting rough and then kind of say holes or the deep trucks being produced over a period of time. So that's because the top layer that moves inside in the bottom layers, and that causes the different types of holes or spots or that you see on the road. So to prevent the movement of the top layer and its movement inside into the structure, you need to have a layer which gives a separation between the top layer and the bottom structure. So that separation is created by giving this layer of warp knitted products, which are in the form of geomeshes or geogrids, which will prevent the prevent any kind of cracks propagation or any kind of destruction on the top layer of the road, and thus the life of the road can be improved, or service life can be improved. Also, these warp knitted products, these are two examples that you see on your screen, which are being employed for making the whole garments. These machines, they are actually capturing the market, and the innovative warp knitted and seamless components, they can be produced in a single sequence using this without any seams for the toes, for the fingers, and even the head. And they can be used for functional sportswear or any kind of undergarments, for hosiery and fashionable outerwear. So these two products that you see here on the screen, one is representing an open warp knitted jacket design that is produced on the Karl Mayr machine, which is both comfortable. This is a one-piece product which has no cuts and seams on it, and this is again another product. It's a sports bra, very commonly being used by people these days. And you have different functional zones in this. Functional zones का मतलब है जहाँ पे आपको padding चाहिए, you have that padding kind of thing. The place where you require more ventilation and your sweating is going to happen more, you have that kind of mesh thing. on the surface. Wherever you need more elasticity, you have high elastic zones in them for free movement. So you can engineer the fabric in such a way that you can cater to different kinds of requirement at different portions of the fabric. So this is the beauty of the 3D whole garment manufacturing in bath knitting, which actually helps you to create a design which is more comfortable and more, say, usable for the person who's wearing it. So with this, I would like to conclude my presentation. So actually, these knitted textiles and apparels, they represent approximately 1/3 of the global textile market. This I mentioned when I started, right? So together with the advances of the new technical applications for knitted textiles, and the demand and the need has increased, and to cater to these needs and demands, there are new research areas which are being taken up, and they are leading to new innovations and development. This knitting industry has come a long way in the last 4 years. As I told you, with shoes and wearables leading the charge. And we are introducing now robotics and artificial intelligence also to get certain kind of incorporation of these technologies or integrating these technologies into the garment and getting the maximum benefit out of the inherent properties of knitted materials and the additional, say, advantages that we can get from these developments that happen in robotics and artificial intelligence. However, we expect that there be a lot of more trial and error which will happen in the coming years. And some of these companies which are major players in manufacturing new types of knitted products, they will try to navigate this integration, integrating these artificial intelligence and robotics and producing some smart materials. So what seems apparent is that this technology integration is at this time a little haphazard. And just because the technology is there, it does not always make it to the marketplace. So simply saying that we introduce robotics and artificial intelligence and create something extraordinary does not serve the purpose. You have to have the right kind of, say, feedback and applications to which these are put to. So in the meantime, because the fashion is still going to lead the way, so whatever new and exciting you produce in the aesthetic sense, it may have a greater chance to move technology far forward. Because when we are talking about wearables, we are also talking about the aesthetic value. So you cannot compromise with that when you are introducing such kind of, say, technologies like artificial intelligence or robotics into the system. So when we talk about functionality, of course, this is important. But when we are talking about functionality in the garment, then we also are talking about aesthetics. And since fashion is ever growing, ever changing, so you have to cater to that aspect also. The big iconic brands, they need to play their part to support the technology as long as the design and technology are like mixed together. So whenever we are designing something for wearables, we have to have the required kind of aesthetic value along with the maximum functionality that we can put into it. And with that intent only, all the developments are happening in the machines or the type of products that are being made on the knitting machines. So I think with this, I would like to end my presentation. These are few references that I have taken up for this, making this presentation. Thank you. We can have questions from you now. Yes.
Now it is an open hand session. Participant can ask the question on the today's presentation.
No question means either you have understood everything or you haven't at all. So the faculty who is a participant here, they're from which institutes? Harpreet?
They're from different institutes, man.
Like design institutes only?
Design and textile as well, man.
Okay,
Even engineering colleges also.
all right. So any information you want to get about the textile department at NIT Jalandhar, even that you can ask me, or anything related to our course that we are running here. We can have those questions also if you want to ask something. So Harpreet, like you have a session in the afternoon after this?
Yes, ma'am. We have 3 sessions daily.
Okay.
The next session we will have at 2:30. ma'am.
All right. So as I told you, this information I have, most of it I have gathered from the ITMART in 2019 exhibition that was done. So anybody, if they need any kind of detailed information about a particular development, you can always contact me. I think my email and number is displayed here. You can just check it out. And if any material related to the things that are presented today, you want some detailing on that, I can provide you. Apart from that, any other material that is related to my area, if anybody needs some help, I'm there. So I think we can end the session if anybody doesn't have anything to ask. You can put your question in the chat box also if you want to. Let me check the chat box. Thank you, Satish Kumar, Skills Weaves, Wills, and Nagyapreet. I hope you gained something. Yes, I will share the PPT. I'll share it with Harpreet and he will share it with you. If we have some questions, ask some general questions if you don't want to ask it from the material that I shared today. Any general question if you want to interact, please. Thank you, Yutti.
So alternatively, we can close the session if there are no questions.
Yeah. Right. Thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
Harpreet, for
So
having me.
okay. It means there are no questions coming. So everything is clear to all the participants. Thanks a lot, madam.
That's good news.
And thanks a lot for a very insightful session, madam, very informative session.
Yeah.
For sparing time for
Thank
the
you for having
participants.
me, Harpreet. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank
It was
you.
great being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, participants, we were going to start the next session.